Vows. They are a solemn promise to do a specified thing. Vows can help us by making promises to others. We can make promises to ourselves, and we can achieve success in all things that matter. Now, and this is vow number 6, maximum performance. How do we get it? What and why do we care? Now, a guy could be, you can have two guys. One guy is far superior in ability and skills. The other guy may have some skills, but not as much as this guy. But if this guy works twice as hard, 10 times as hard as this guy, he will probably outperform him, even though he has more natural ability. How does that work? Think about this. I have cheated myself far too long. I have given mere lip service to those who have employed me. How much easier my work would be if I put forth as much effort trying to improve the quality of it than to not properly attend to it and give them higher value. That's maximum performance. There's one towering secret of success which dwarfs all other rules, yet most people will reject it again and again and again as too difficult. Wealth, position, fame, and even elusive happiness will be mine eventually if I determine to render more and better service each day than I am being paid to render. In other words, go all in. And there's a more and powerful way to remember this most difficult law of life. When one is asked to go 1 mile, one should willingly go 2 miles. In other words, even shorter, go the extra mile. Over deliver, under promise and over deliver. Give people more than what they asked for, more than what they expected, more than what you promised. Now for me, I commenced to follow this great secret of achievers and become one of the honored ones. Someone who is known for giving more than they get, for giving value, for giving a high level of service, a high level of value. Now the vow for this concept says, never again will I perform any task at less than my best. Pretty straightforward, right? Now I know that in order to grow and flourish, I must attend strictly to business and keep a little bit in advance for myself. In other words, I know that I gotta give more than I got. And I should focus on my business and concentrate on that to go all in and focus on that. Now it's found that many of those who reach the top are the ones who are not content with only doing what's the bare minimum, only what's required. They do more. Successful people do more than what's expected of them. They go another mile and then another mile. The measurement of their compensation, the money they earn, it does enter their mind. But they know only because they know that they will eventually receive their reward. When they're in the moment, they're not concerned about money. I mean, there's a common story talk about Jeff Bezos, how Amazon.com lost money for the first 10 or 11 years that it was in existence. It was earning millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, but it wasn't turning a profit. Jeff Bezos didn't turn a profit until I think year 14 or 15, and then when they went public a second time, he finally became a billionaire. He worked all that time in the business, on the business. Now obviously he made money to live, but he wasn't living extravagantly. He took a salary, it's just like the other employees, but his riches from Amazon came much later, after many, many years of him going all in and to get the business to a point where he could later compensate himself lavishly for all of his efforts and hard work and his equity, of course. Now, there is one certain method of achieving one's goals, and that is through hard labor, both mental and physical. So, despite what people think, oh, hard work is only for dumb people, clever people don't work hard. No, there's always hard work to be had. You just got to decide which hard work you want, because there are different values for different types of work. Now, the lowest value is labor, physical labor. That's the lowest value. That's why people who work physical labor jobs will only make so much money. They're always at the bottom, because your earning capacity is based on how much work you can do, which is a limited resource, times how much time you can spend doing it, which is also a limited resource. So you're going to have a limited outcome. The next highest level of value is when you manage people. So when you have management over people, you're basically managing all of those people in the lower level who are labor. And so you're using your mind to based on time or salary. Now, for me, I no longer feel sorry for myself, for I stepped off of the road. I don't want to say to nowhere, but basically I decided I wanted to try to tap into my creativity and help people, and my ability to communicate and help people at a larger pace, rather than still working hourly. Although I do enjoy my work as an underwriter, but it's when you're tapping into your creativity, you get ownership, and you have an ability to have income and wealth beyond you stop working, trading time for dollars. Now remember, what is our vow? Never again will we perform any task at less than our best. Go all in. Now keep in mind, I am not chained to my work. I am not a slave. But I do understand that drudgery is as necessary to call out the treasures of my mind so that I can improve my situation. Now it is a challenge. And just like the guy who's out plowing the fields and he's planting seeds, we have to plant creative seeds for our future so that we can produce future results rather than just work for today and just get something today. So what you want to do is you want to grow beyond any task assigned to you so that you can provide, and providing that you never forget that you're a child of God and you were born for victory. Now, whatever your job may be, perform it with love and you won't fail at that job. Even if it's not your dream job, do your best there, invest there, maybe even put in the skill, the time to learn the skills, be the best at that job. Because when you demonstrate a proficiency here, other opportunities come up. Because that happened with me. When I was working at the bank, I worked in the mortgage. After being a loan officer, I worked in the mortgage customer service department, helping lenders and brokers on the phone. And then I demonstrated a good ability for analyzing that, and I was given an opportunity to become an underwriter. And so I was able to promote it out of that. I was one of the best guys in that department, that customer service department, and that made them note me that as being someone he's proficient in that. And then opened up an opportunity for me to advance into this department here and become an underwriter. So even though this wasn't my dream job, I did the damn thing, if you will, and so that opened up opportunities for me to promote up. Now, my share of the work was limited, but the fact seemingly so rare in this selfish world today, with so many people clock watching and looking to say, oh, I'm just trying to punch out, I'm just trying to get my time in. You know, you won't fail because you'll be a rare breed. And yet, if you persist in traveling that extra mile, you can prepare yourself for jeers from those who never contribute a fair day's work. You know how it is when you go the extra mile and you do extra work. That other guy's gonna tell you you're a company man, you know, or you're a ass kisser, or he may, you know, suggest that you somehow trying to get favoritism or something like that. But because they would never dream of doing that, and they don't understand why you're doing it, or if they understand it, they don't like it because it makes them feel bad, like, wow, I should be doing that too. But in order to accomplish anything great in this short life that we always got so much time, you have to realize that you have to apply yourself and your mind and your time and your muscle, and that you have to appeal to a point where you almost forget about the time, and you always say, okay, you get obsessed almost with doing a good job, obsessed with going that extra mile. Because again, never again will we perform any task at less than our best. Never again will I perform any task at less than my best. Give me love and give me work, and in these two things only, and I'll be able to live a contented life. So think about it. A river. What's the best thing for a river? The best thing for a river is to keep moving, because as long as it keeps moving, the water stays aerated and fresh, and it's bubbly and it's clean. But if you stop up a river, you dam a river, it becomes a long, narrow pond, and the water will eventually stagnate because the water can't move and flush out the impurities and let everything keep moving to the bottom like it's supposed to. All of that just kind of sits there. And for us, we don't want to stagnate. The best thing for us is to keep our currents flowing. As few people realize how much of their happiness is dependent upon their work. I mean, most of us get a satisfaction out of work. The satisfaction of a job done, that something was accomplished, we feel productive. I think it's something God puts us to be productive. Sure, you got lazy people out there, but they really are the exception of the rule. I don't think it's poverty or our society which is forcing people to work, encouraging people to work jobs rather than be independent and work through our creativity. I don't think it's the poverty that drives people to work. I think it's the need to be productive. The problem is people are not being shown how to be productive on their own. They're being programmed to work jobs to satisfy the big conglomerates. But that's a whole nother story. I don't want to get into geopolitical economics or anything like that. But I think for most of us, we say we are nothing without our work, you know, and we get a sense of joy and happiness from that. Yeah, sometimes we're tired and we did that. But when we love what we do, we're going to do it anyway, and you're less likely to be tired then. Because again, never again will we perform any task at less than our best. We want to go all in and go the extra mile. So I say, for me, never again will I fail to go the extra mile or render less than my pay deserves. I will do my work. Henceforth, with all the intensity that we can put forth, you should not just do your work and no more, but maybe just a little bit more. Consider that. Do just a little bit more. And that little bit more, which in time will be worth all the rest. Because again, you'll become a little bit more productive. You will demonstrate a little more desire to work. The people who watch you, your boss and whatnot, they will notice that extra commitment, and then that may make you in line for other opportunities, because a lot of times they're looking for people who have that commitment. They don't want to try to instill that in people. They look for the people who already have it in them. They can always train them on the job functions, but they want the people with the right attitude first, so, which again opens up opportunities. And so, if we suffer, as we often will, and if we doubt the value of our efforts, as we often do on many occasions, we should still do the work. I know for me, I will put my heart into it, and the sky will clear, metaphorically speaking, in front out of all the doubts that I have and suffering. I will enjoy a better life. It usually opens up doors in that way. So I would say, once again, let us always obey this special vow of success. Say it with me. Never again will I perform any task at less than my best. Go all in. Go all in. Do your best. So I hope you found this video encouraging and informational. And I'm sure many of you have heard the idea of work hard. But yes, you want to work hard, but you want to work smart. And you want to work hard for yourself. Now, if you do get shown appreciation for your work, then great. If you're in a situation where they're not even showing you appreciation for all your hard work, that's fine. Because if doors don't open up within, they will open up outside of where you are too. So in all things to be considered, hard work will never go unwasted. So I hope you found this video valuable, and hope stay tuned for the next video in the series, which is video number 7. It's about focus. So see you then. Take care.